Good evening, everyone. We're waiting for Glenn to log in, and I think we'll be able to get started. There he is now. Hi, Glenn. Glenn, can you hear us?
Okay, now can you hear me?
Yes, now I can
All right.
hear you.
It's taken an awful long time to get through to you guys. So
Okay, the recording is on and the YouTube is on, so we're ready to go.
cool. May 21st, 2024. It is 6:33 p.m. I will go ahead and call us to order. If everybody would join me for a flag salute and pledge of allegiance.
Yeah.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
I'd like to welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us. We have a pretty small agenda tonight, but first thing up is approval of the March 19th minutes. If somebody has somebody wants to make a motion to approve those, I would certainly entertain that.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the motion?
So, if I may, was it Pat and then Mark?
Yes.
Yeah.
At the motion, Mark the second. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. Hearing no other discussion, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Awesome. All those opposed? That motion carries. Next, we have up a major variance application file VAR 2024-02 from Brian and Susan Schweigert. And I will probably let staff take over from this point. Is that accurate, Holly?
Yes, sir.
All righty.
All right. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, absolutely.
Great. For the record, my name is Holly Byram, and I work for the Mid-Willamette Valley Council of Governments. I serve as a contract city planner for Hubbard. And my goal this evening is to help the Planning Commission understand the application in front of them and the criteria that applies to it. So this is a minor variance application. Over the past few months, the Planning Commission has heard a couple major variance applications, and this one is processed a little differently. Just as a reminder, the threshold between a minor and a major variance is 20%, and this falls below that. And for that reason, this is not a formal public hearing this evening. So as a type 1 level 2 action, neighbors did have an opportunity to comment. They had 2 weeks to comment. And as far as I know, the city has not received any comments from any neighboring property owners. So this is minor variance file 2024-02. The applicants are Brian and Susan Schweigart. The address is 3364 Hillside Court, and the zone is R1 low density residential. This is an existing single-family home located within an existing neighborhood. The property owners simply want to construct an addition onto their home, specifically a master bedroom onto their home. The reason for this minor variance request is to reduce the rear yard setback. In the R1 zone, the rear yard setback standard is 20 feet, and they are requesting to build to a setback of 16 feet 8 inches. So the variance is just under 17%. All the planning commissioners should have a brief staff report in front of them. On page 2 of that staff report, I've included an aerial photo that shows the location of the proposed building addition, and that's circled there. And then also there's a street view from the cul-de-sac. There's an arrow that's pointing to the RV that's stored there in the rear yard of the existing house. And so that is essentially where that rear setback is. And so this is kind of a unique property because of its location on the cul-de-sac here. It's right on the corner. So what we're measuring as a rear yard setback actually is a side yard setback to the abutting property owner in a sense. And for that reason of this unusual configuration, staff does support this minor variance application. I'll get into a little bit more detail here in a moment, but as you can see from the aerial photo, this house addition is separated from the abutting neighbor by the RV parking, a tall fence, and then the neighbor's parking area. So we're not directly abutting the neighboring house at this point. Let's see, on page 3 of the staff report, you can see the location of the proposed addition, as well as that rear yard setback indicated by the arrow. The criteria in the minor variance section of the Hubbard Development Code, there's a couple different criteria that apply here. The first few are basically that the intent and the purpose of that specific criteria either does not apply or is satisfied otherwise. And because of the unique configuration of the properties here and those items in between these two houses that I identified previously, the intent of that setback is, you could argue, met here because of the separation with the fence and the spacing and the parking areas in between here. There's also a criteria about how the proposed development will not unreasonably impact the abutting uses. And in this case, neighbors were provided a 14-day comment period. The city did not receive any concerns from neighbors. There's no reason to believe that this home addition would impact the abutting neighbors. There's a criteria about the percentage. Again, this is under 17% of variance, which is under that 20% threshold. There's been no previous land use action prohibiting this. So pretty straightforward minor variance here in front of you. Staff is recommending approval. The only recommended condition of approval here this evening is the standard expiration date of a variance, which is the 2 years that's found in the development code. That section of code does give the Planning Commission the ability to approve an additional extension if the applicant requests that. So the motion options are located on page 7. The application is attached to the staff report. The applicants are joining us this evening. They may want to say a few things, but again, this is not a formal public hearing. So I'm available to answer questions. I know Sean and Vicky have had communications with the applicants as well, so they may be able to answer questions as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Holly. Actually, first, are there any questions of Holly or of staff?
Just a very minor correction on the agenda today. We have it listed as a major variance.
Thank you, Commissioner. Yeah, we did note that the applicant pointed that out to us. Apologies for the typo on the agenda. The public notice that was mailed out did correctly identify this as a minor variance, so that's good in that regard.
Thanks, Pat, for that clarification, and thank you, Holly.
Mhm.
So I'd like to give an opportunity for the applicants to at least, if they have anything they wanted to say, I'd like to at least give them the opportunity to do that. So go ahead if you've got comments you wanted to add.
I don't have any comments to add. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's just been a process for us, but we're glad we're here. So, do you have anything you want to add, Brian?
No comment.
All right. Well, thanks. At least wanted to give you that opportunity.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
So I will open it up to the planning commissioners. Then we literally it's a motion now. So I would entertain a motion to move forward.
I moved to approve the application.
I'll second the motion. Or Mark.
So it was Phil and Pat. Any discussion on the motion?
No, good luck. I hope you guys put the right size master bedroom in. That's the only thing I got.
Thank you. Yeah, we're excited about it.
Good.
Okay, with no other discussion, we'll move forward with a vote. All those in favor of approving the motion as presented, and it is a minor variance VAR 2024-02, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Awesome. And I think that's all we had on our, is there anything else, Holly, that you needed to add?
No, the next step is I'll just simply send out the notice of decision to the applicants, and that gives them the opportunity to appeal the decision. There were no other parties here this evening or commenting on the application, so there are no other parties withstanding to appeal. So
Great. Thank you all very much.
pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Anybody with a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
Seconded.
Motioned and seconded. All those in favor of adjournment, please say aye.
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 Thanks, you guys. Much appreciated.
Night.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you all. Have a good night.
Thank you, everybody.